So, so today we're gonna go into Kwakenda village. I don't know how to say it properly, but you understand. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna meet somebody who knows the history, not just of Soweto, but also this place as well. He's gonna give us like a raw history of the whole of South Africa, the whole of Soweto, actually what really happened within Soweto, and the things that you probably might not see in the museums, or the things that you will not hear people saying. But he's gonna give us a raw, unfiltered history of this place. So we're gonna go in, and he's gonna show us around, and he's gonna tell us the history of this place. So you guys sit down, watch the vlog, and enjoy, man. This is gonna be a documentary, man. This is raw history, man. This man is not playing. He's saying things I didn't even know it existed. I had a suspicion about it, but this man knows the ins and the outs of this place. So we're gonna go in, and he's gonna show us. So yeah, let's go.
Soweto, at first, was a camping site whereby if you came from the villages of South Africa or neighboring countries, the likes of Lesotho, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Malawi, etc., looking for a job in Johannesburg, you will brought into Soweto to come and wait for a work permit. That will allow you to work for 3 months or 6 months in Johannesburg. There were two types of work permit that they will issue in the day. There was a B1 and a B2, which means black one and black two. Black one, you stay in the camping sites. You walk to your place to Johannesburg by foot. There was no public transport. Black two, you stay at the workplace working as a domestic worker. In 1904, the Johannesburg City Council brought 1,538 Africans and 600 Indians to come and join the Chinese in the first informal settlement that we call Cape Town even today. Towards 1958, after the establishment of Orlando and Midlands, at least 50 to 100,000 black people claimed Soweto as their homes. By then, Soweto didn't have the name. They used to call it according to the camping sites, mainly using the Dutch names, the likes of the Klipgevrieshoog, Dorenkop, Fredlak, Kliptown, Klipspruit, etc. The Johannesburg City Council wanted to bring in a simple name. That is when in 1959 they made the name competition. According to the Apartheid media, they said the competition was won by an Indian lady who managed to give Soweto the name South Western Townships. I'm a child of apartheid and the adult of democracy. I'm the bridge between apartheid and democracy. During apartheid time, our motto in the black townships was liberate the country, education later. There was no time to go to school. 7 o'clock in the morning, 30 minutes later in the street, I'm not educated, I don't matric. The first box was ticked on the 11th of February 1990, when there Nelson Mandela of the system was released from the prison, not our Nelson Mandela. When he was released, he became the champion and the ambassador of education. He spoke highly about education, telling us, my generation, that if we can vote for the ANC, we will get the best education in the world. Boom, I voted in 1994. He was the president. As the president, he failed my generation. He failed us. He never gave back education. Some of us had to invest in ourselves educationally by doing research. In some part of the research, we found that originally the name Soweto comes from the black journalist by the name of Tshehla Phehlane, who managed to give an Indian lady the name Soweto, sitting together in a bar, having a bottle of whiskey, so that the lady can enter the competition's reason being Our people, my people, black people were never allowed to be part of the competitions. That is why black people in those years, they hated the name Soweto. They never loved the name. According to our people, they wanted to call Soweto Sofa Sonke City because of James Sofa Sonke Mpanza, our father, not Mandela. Mandela was a brand here in Soweto that competed with the likes of the Coca-Cola, Nike, Louis Vuitton, and the coaches of the world. He was made a hero by the system, not as he was imposed to people because of they wanted the face of change. Remember, that's what the little Mandela went to prison. At that age, okay, he was released, and then when he was released, he pushed the agenda. James Sopasonke Mpanza was the father, the man who managed to fight for all the black people who were going to Johannesburg to have a toilet. At the same time, James Sopasonke Mpanza, the father of Soweto, took the land of Soweto by force and gave it to those who never had homes. He is the founder of Orlando Pirates. Hence, the motto of Orlando Pirates says, Ezigamagebhula owagebhula umhlaba kamasipala ngenkani wawuthatha wabhekisa phezulu those who took the land by force. In the early 50s, Willem Carr and Boris Wilson, they decided to bring in Ernesto Penema into Soweto to come and see how the people of the shanty camps are living. As a man who saw an opportunity to exploit our South African minerals more, he went back and organized a loan of 3 to 6 million pounds with the 7 mines. Those mines today, they call themselves the chambers of the mine. They control all the mining sectors. They were created by the Rand lords, those who created Nelson Mandela to protect their economy. And by then, South Africa was using a pound as the currency. With the money, they were supposed to build 30,000 houses in Soweto. Due to corruption, they built 40,000, 24,000 houses that serve as a background. We call them the match box houses because of the shape. That's a 40 square meter house that comes in with 2 bedroom, kitchen, dining room, and external toilet, including a fresh tap water. 90% of the shanty camps were built out of potato, sacks, and old blankets. Men were called to come and burn the camps to create a space for the matchbox houses. With the ashes of the camps, the very same men were taken to Orlando Power Station and they were forced to recycle the ashes by building 4,000 bricks that made the tower to honor the loan. In 1963, that is when Soweto was officially registered as a township. In 1957, when the tower was built, it was never built for us, the black South Africans. It was utilized by the only white South Africans by going to Marshalltown in Johannesburg to go and catch a green bus that will bring them to the spot, protected by the police, climb the tower, look at the beautiful landscape of Soweto, and the black people of Soweto by then, as if they were monkeys in the zoo waiting for the bananas, go to the community hall, have a high tea whilst discussing about the life of a black child in Soweto. At the same time, they will send the officials to come and use the tower. Mandela was the only thing, but he was so skeptical about this one. He was like, are you really Mandela? Are you really my man? Are you Madiba? No, something's not good about you.
That's why Mandela left.
What happened to you? What have they done to you? And then say, but it's surprising. You are alone. Where are the other political leaders here? Who elected you to represent us?
Yeah.
What are you talking about without us not being there?
Yeah, you gotta consult.
That is where the separation started. So they used,
and that's where Winnie Mandela wanna run up.
yes, that is where they used that improve as a scapegoat. Using as a scapegoat. There's no such.
Respect that. I tell people, they don't believe me. I've been telling people the whole time.
It's so simple.
It's marketing. It's marketing. You gotta put somebody that everybody loves.
Yes.
This man was taken out of prison, taken overseas for treatment.
There is a song that says, you don't know what is happening about him. Whereas the original Mandela, because the original Mandela was fighting for the land.
And he wanted to take vengeance against the people that oppressed
Like nobody's business.
But he never did. And he came and come a peace. Like oh.
With that smile.
And then he just became diplomatic.
He doesn't even cannot speak a single word of culture.
He can't even speak fucking Zulu. Mandela spoke English the whole time when he was the president.
Yeah.
They write his speech for him.
So Winnie Mandela will always be the first lady.
She's a hero.
No woman was so powerful, and she was a danger
to the white people.
They feared Winnie Mandela.
More than Mandela. Yeah. That's why they found a way to silence her, to keep her quiet.
Again, we can even take it away and say, let's say this is the Winnie Mandela, according to the system. When Mandela came to South Africa, to Johannesburg, he was from Zulu. He was a boxer. The first job that he did was a policeman.
Yeah.
He met Zulu, who told him to be the police force, and they can start ANC. For him to go to Port and become a lawyer, his fees in Port were paid by the Openyans. During the prison time, George Bezos was the lawyer of Nelson Mandela. George Bezos was paid by the Openyans.
Obviously,
in the corporate,
sold out.
That's important.
Everything is sold out.
So 360 degrees.
This is Soweto. It's fucking huge.
Inside the mountains, inside the hills. It's fancy, so
I got 360 back. Let me get down.
These mountains, we used to call them the Soweto walls, just like the Berlin walls.
Yeah.
They helped the Apartheid government to put proper control in Soweto during Apartheid time. Black people were allowed to use only two gates to go to Johannesburg and to come back, which is the High Gate and the South Gate. 2 o'clock in the morning, the gate will be opened for those who walk towards their workplace.
Yep.
At 6 o'clock in the evening, it will be closed. Nothing will count. 8 o'clock, state of emergency. Cave start.
And then they put him in the other prison there, which is a soft prison for 3 years. No, that's where they changed it. They want to get him to get, they're like, okay, he's not there anymore. How did Mandela go from that prison to that prison? Yeah, don't talk about history, man. That's special.
That's what I told there.
Yeah, that's a Johannesburg. Yes. And then they formed the side by the mountain over.
Yes. Then we stand in the Peli Party. This is the center of Soweto where we are.
Yeah.
All the power stations.
Right there.
They used to supply electricity to the communities, not us until it was used up. Then on the side, straight back, there's a big building at the back. That is Christiani Paraconas Hospital. But before it was a hospital, it was a hotel, which was owned by Mr. John Albert Paraconas. He gave it to the British Council to turn it into a military hospital for all the Commonwealth soldiers that came in the Second World War. In 1949,
for the Second World War.
In 1949, General John Smart declared Para a public hospital. Today, Para is the headquarters of Doctors Without Borders in Africa.
Yeah.
When you look up there, there is a street light at the end of the line, further back, next to the King Rubik's. That is street light. In 1955, 25 June, 2,884 delegates, including volunteers, came from the four corners of South Africa to come and adopt the freedom charter of the country, the one that we call the Congress of the People that governs our constitution. This site, the red building, Soweto Theatre. Up there, further back, we see there is a police standing alone. That's the Raton Hospital. And that will be Jabavu Hostel. These places, they represent reality, which the society which they set up. Hence, we can see them. Soweto by day, Sotra by night.
Nah, bro, that's fucking fire history, man. I keep telling people about. I don't want to say too much because I've been saying this for years.
I'm here,
Africa
guys.
is always they use people in Africa to go against people in Africa so they can take away from us. That's just the way it's been working. You know what I mean? And people gotta understand
So
that we
for
need
us
to change
to
the
be
way
good,
Africa looks now.
we need to start with the belief this guy shop at some point.